Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the October 10th Intrasquad Open session for Riptide. Meet will start about 4 o'clock, about 7 minutes from now. It is 3:53 in the afternoon. If you are looking for it on Meet Mobile, you can see on your screen, but 2020 Minnesota Riptide October Intrasquad, or tap meets near me if you are in the local Apple Valley, Rosemont, Eagan, Burnsville area. If you were looking for session 3 today, I apologize. We were not able to live stream that one, nor are we able to live stream this one due to some issues we were having with YouTube. YouTube is doing a huge climate change event today, and we think that by looking on the internet, it looks like a lot of people are having problems with connections back to YouTube today for live streaming events and for uploading videos. So we're hoping that next time we get to do this, we don't run into that kind of a problem. So this session is recorded. It will be uploaded later on this evening so that you can view it. In about 1 to 2 minutes, we're going to start with announcements. I'm going to mute for now until that starts, and then I'll be back with you. And we will start with event number 31, which is the mixed 200-yard IM. See you in a few minutes. We are now going through the safety protocols, which of course you at home, I'm sure you have your own, so you don't have to worry about ours here at Riptide. We had 5 or 6 people in the stands watching live. Definitely not a full house, but our 10 and unders gathered about 20 parents or so up here, so that was good. Most of these kids can drive themselves at this age for the open session, so the parents kind of hang back and take advantage of the live stream. Unfortunately, we can't do that live stream today, but everybody can sit back this evening, and instead of maybe family movie night, you can watch the couple hours that will be the open session, which is about the older kids, usually about 12, 13 and up. Okay, we have finished up with announcements. A couple more parents coming up into the stands. Mike yelling at the crowd to be loud, so that's always good. And we have the first group for the 200 IM coming up. You can see them against the windows. A little bit later in the evening here, or afternoon I should say, and the reflections from the windows that surround the pool are a little less than they were this morning, so you'll get a little bit better view of your kids swimming. So again, this is event number 31. This is the mixed 200-yard IM. There are 4 heats. The first heat will be Luke Redsky in lane number 1, Lydia Harem in 2, Nadine Boulos in 3, Ben Edwards in 4, Leah Hadsel in 5, Grace Martin in 6, and Molly Pitson in 7. And the kids are making their final adjustments to their caps and their goggles and stepping up to the blocks. There's your whistle. And up on the blocks they go. If you maybe didn't know, there is no more whistle blown with the lips. Because of the COVID-19 outbreaks, they have been using electronic whistle now. That's a press of a button. And I bet they will stick with it even after COVID is all done and gone. So we'll see how that goes. All right, looks like we are missing lane 5, which is Leah Hadsel. She is not in the water right now. But down in lane 1, as you can see coming down, we got Luke Redsky making his turn to the backstroke. And in lane 4, Ben Edwards is coming in to make his turn to the backstroke. Luke has a no time, so chances are he probably just aged up recently. I don't know for sure, but he is 15. And maybe never swam it as a 13, 14-year-old. I'm not sure. Well, we've got a legal butterfly and a legal backstroke by everybody at this point, so that's good. No hands up from the refs. Heat 2 is over along the windows, ready to go. You'll hear the whistles of Michelle Hopewell and the hollerings of Mike Parato. And looks like everybody's moved into the breaststroke. Luke is coming in on the breaststroke to freestyle here pretty quick down in lane 1. Lane 1 is closest to you. Lane 8 is farthest against the windows and the stands. No. And Luke turns it on into the freestyle. And everybody else coming in here pretty quick on the breaststroke. Still no hands from the refs. That's great. Usually you see more of that in the 10 and unders. You see a lot of hands going up as these kids learn how to conduct their strokes. Usually at this level they've got it pretty well figured out. And in comes Luke in lane 1, and he's going to be in at a 2:19.57. 2:19.57. And our last one is turned into the freestyle. That is Molly Pitson out there in lane 7. Ben is now coming in lane 4. He was entered at a 2:47.50, so he's going to better his time by 6.5 seconds. Great swim for Ben. Lydia coming in next. She is going to drop some time there in lane 2. Down from a 3:06, and she's going to be about a 2:56. And she is 2:56.16. And then we've got lane 6 is Grace. Entered at a 3:02. And she dropped a little bit, about a second. So they're going to take a 50 easy. And then I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, apologies for that. Every once in a while they get a parent come up behind me and ask me a few questions. We got heat number 2 coming up. We've got lane 1, we've got Emma Patterson. Lane 2, Seb Gillen. Lane 3, Leah Cayley. Lane 4, Abby Nan. Lane 5, Thomas Keller. Lane 6, Aiden Smith. Lane 7, Robbie Megan. And out in lane 8 will be Grace Sturrett. And heat 1 exits the starting area, and here comes heat number 2. And there's our whistle, and they will be stepping up. There we go. Now the step up. And you can see heat number 3 coming in along the windows right now. Looks like we got everybody. All lanes are full. And they're off on the 200 IM, 200 individual medley. Butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. Lane 5 is Thomas Keller. He has been coming along extremely well. I think he was a late start into the swimming venue, so he's really gotten very fast, very quickly over the last year or two. His brother, Jackson Keller, who is swimming today, was the Minnesota State High School League AA state champion in the 200 free and the 500 free this year, just before COVID set in. So there is some good swimming genes in that family, and Thomas is following up in those big shoes to fill. Thomas coming in on his backstroke, turning into the breaststroke. Rest of the group is pretty close together. They'll all be turning at about the same time. So far, everything looks legal. That's good. And Thomas for his final turn into the freestyle. Looking very strong, very smooth. Lane 6, the next to turn is Aiden Smith. And the rest of the group is now turned and on their way. And in comes Thomas. He is entered at a 2:29.87. He's going to blow that out the door at a 2:10.33. Great swim. Aiden will be your next one up. He is entered at a 2:30.49. And it looks like he's going to drop quite a bit of time here as well. Probably about 8 seconds, 7 seconds. And at a 2:26. So, yeah, about 8 seconds. And looks like pretty good swims all the way around. Lane 7, Robbie Megan, 2:38.99. He comes in at 2:31.48. So, yeah, we've got good swims across the board. So that was heat number 2 of 4. And they are going into the Easy 50, and I will be back with you in just a moment. All right, we are jumping into Heat 3 as Heat 2 gets dressed and moves away from the starting area. Heat 3 is against the windows over there. We're going to have Lane 1 is Tate Dial. Lane 2, Hunter Ridding. Lane 3 will be Sophie Scroggins. In Lane 4, Nicholas Famsavan. Lane 5, Jovan Langseth. In Lane 6 will be Elizabeth Oakland. In Lane 7 will be Addison Pavick. And in Lane 8 will be Riley Laban.
Right behind the box next is Lane 1, Tate. Lane 2 is Hunter. Lane 3 is Sophie. Lane 4, Nick. Lane 5, Jovan. Lane 6 is Elizabeth. Lane 7 is Addison. And Lane 8 is Riley.
Okay, there's the first whistle. They are stepping up. We'll get the long whistle here. As you just heard, we've got 2 whistles One basically tells the kids, get to the block and get ready, and the second one says step up. So the long whistle is the step up. And off they go. A good underwater and a good start there is Nick. Looks like we're missing lane 3, which is Sophie Scroggins. She is not with us today. Nick leading the pack here in the fly part of the 200 IM. And be turning into his backstroke in the lead here. Looking very strong. The group is right behind him. All pretty even. They're all going to turn pretty close to the same time. Nick's leading the group though and coming down smoothly in his backstroke. The pack is catching him just a little bit, but he should be pretty safe going into the breaststroke. And if I remember right, and we'll find out here in just a second, I believe he is a very good breaststroker and will probably pull away from the group. And there he goes. So he is off, and he should take this heat pretty good unless something terrible happens. But yeah, he is a fantastic breaststroker, and I think he swam the 200 breaststroke. I believe that was yesterday. And here he comes in. He's going to turn for the 50 freestyle for the final 2 lengths with the group, the pack closely behind, and all pretty even again. So finishing up here, we're going to move on to heat 4 in just a few minutes, which has got some pretty fast 200 IMers. Heat 4 is going to feature Hawken Naughton and Jackson Keller. Jackson, I mentioned, was the Minnesota State High School League 200 and 500 freestyler champion for 2020. So this should be fun to watch. They always like to race each other, Jackson and Hawken. And Nicholas finishes up at 2:09.18, which is a good 5-second drop for him. And lane 7, Addison just finished up at a 2:29.72. A little bit of an ad there for her, but at the same time, parents, don't get upset with your kids if they ad right now. They are being beaten up by their coaches when the final meets, if the final meets ever come around. They will get their rest and they will get tapered and into fast suits, and they will be perfectly fine. They will go fast. So right now, adding a little bit of time is right where they should be. If they're even, that's great, and if they drop, it's a bonus. So keep that in mind. They're finishing up with their 50 free. I'll be back with you shortly. All right, Heat 3 exits the starting area, and in comes Heat 4. This is going to be a fast heat. We got Grayson Marcotte in lane 1, Evan Kinseth in 2, Matt Mortensen in 3, Hawken Naughton in 4, Jackson Keller in 5, Maddie Hall in lane 6, Jacob Olson in lane 7, and Audrey Persich in lane 8. Maddie Hall is one of our female natural sprinters. I believe, if I looked right, she has a couple of Olympic trial cuts in the 50 and the 100 freestyle. So she is, she's a force to be reckoned with. And there they go. So here we go. This is going to be a fun one to watch between Hawken and Jackson. Both very good flyers, very good backstrokers. and both can really, really bring it home in the freestyle. And as said, they touch dead on. Jackson's got that killer underwater, as you just noticed. He came out about a half a body length ahead. And as they move into the backstroke, still fairly even. The rest of the group is a little bit behind him. Grayson in lane 1, Evan in lane 2, Matt Mortensen in lane 3. All good friends, all hang out together. So it's fun to watch them swim against each other. And in the backstroke, Jackson has the lead, followed by Hawken and Matt Mortensen, and Matty Hall out there in lane 6 is keeping up with the crowd. And turning into the breaststroke. And Audrey turning in lane 8. So everybody's now on the breaststroke length. Jackson turning at the 25, coming in for his 50. They will turn again to do the 50 freestyle. Matthew Mortensen is making a run at Hawken here, pulling away from the rest of the group in the breaststroke. Still a battle between lane 3 and 4 with Matthew and Hawken. They're going like crazy. Jackson's going to run away with it. Jackson is entered at a 157.37. He's going to come in pretty on top of that, and he drops about 0.3 of a second. Hawken's going to add a little bit of time. Matthew's coming in at he's coming in with a 2:02.7 and 2:03.91. So he's added a little bit. Evan in lane 2, my son, 16-year-old, came in with a 2:06, and well, he might have dropped a little bit of time. 2:06.20 to a 2:06.12, 8/100ths of a second. I'll take what I can get, folks. I'll take what I can get. They're going to do their easy 50, and I will be back with you for the start of the mixed 200-yard freestyle. They're going to take an 8-minute break between this heat and heat number 1 of 2 of the 200 free. So I'll see you in a little bit. I apologize. You're going to hear some dead air while I go on mute. They play music during the 8-minute break, and sometimes YouTube will block it. So you're gonna hear some dead air, but we are still going. Okay, we are back. We had a short break there before the 200 freestyle. This has got 2 heats, and we have lanes 1 and lane 8 should be open. And we're looking at lane 2 is Sydney Sadlick. Lane 3 is Lydia Harum. Lane 4, Emma Patterson. Lane 5, Nadine Boulos. Lane 6, Lindsay Mello. And in lane 7, Mason Pade. And it looks like we have everybody. There is that first whistle. And you'll hear the long whistle. There it is. And they will climb up on the blocks. We've got Mason out in lane 7 with a no time. He is 14, so this may very well be the first time he has swam it since he was 11, 12. Saw a little pause there by the starter. Chances are, and I think I noticed as well, a couple of people moving on the blocks. Starter wants everybody to be nice and quiet on the blocks, nobody moving before they actually set the starter off. We got a pretty even heat here. Mason's leading the pack a little bit out there in lane 7. He'll be the first to turn, followed by Lindsay in lane 6. Lindsay has turned it on a little bit. Looks like she may have just overtaken Mason. And looks like at the 75, she will be in the lead when she turns, and so she is. And turns, the rest of the group is all kind of together. Well, Lindsay leading it now. She's going to turn first at the 100. Followed by Emma in lane 4. Emma's going to give her a run here as they move on to the 125. And here Amy going crazy. These are a lot of kids from the senior 1 group that she coaches. And at the 125, it is still Lindsay out in lane 6. Emma has now taken over, it looks like, or they're pretty dead even. Emma's got a slight lead now on Lindsay, and will turn first with the 50 left to go. And Emma has taken a commanding lead of this group now. She is coming in with a 2:23.91. And she looks good. She looks strong. She's going to be pretty close. Going to be really close. 2:24.20, so just about 3/10 off. So that's a really, really nice swim. Lindsay out in lane 6 came in with a 2:42.94, and she went to 2:31.30, so that's a 12-second drop. That's a great time. Some great swims here by these kids. Again, I think most of these kids are in senior 1, which is coached by, I believe, Amy. and Coach Vogan, myself once in a while. So we are a little bit more familiar with these kids and the senior elite kids as well. They're going to take their 50 free, and I'll be back with you in just a second for Heat 2. Okay, we're going to move on to Heat 2. Heat 2 is going to be a fun race, 200 freestyle. We got lane number 1 is Stella Bouchard. Lane 2, Rachel Hutchins. Lane 3, older sister Megan Hutchins. Lane 4, Sydney Davids. Lane 5, Sullivan Labno. Lane 6, Sam Edwards. Lane 7, Caroline Mulrooney. And in lane 8, Adele Gillen. Sydney Davids is known for her backstroke. Very good 100 and 200 backstroker. She has some junior national cuts and some U.S. Open cuts, I believe. And so, again, we've got very good backstrokers on this team, and she is one of them. Sullivan is known for his 500 freestyle. He's broken 5 minutes over the last season, and is a very good 200 freestyler as well. Expect him to do good things here. Caroline Mulrooney is an up-and-comer. She is a zone swimmer. The last zone she was at, she had quite a few swims, and so we've got a lot of good kids in this 200 freestyle. And there they go. Out in lane 6, Sam Edwards taking it out pretty fast. Next to him in 5, Sullivan, and Sydney in 4. Expect Sullivan to probably take this over here pretty quick. Although Sam is a front-end sprinter, he has been getting much faster, and I believe he is now in Michelle's Senior 2 group. Sullivan, I believe, is in Senior Elite, along with Sydney Davids, Megan Hutchins, Rachel Hutchins, Caroline, and Stella. Adele, I'm not quite sure. She may be in Senior 2 or Amy Senior 1. I'm not really sure. Sullivan does have a slight lead over Sam here at the turn. We got Sydney and Megan battling it out in 3 and 4. Rachel coming up behind them in 2. Coming to the 150 here. Sullivan still got that slight lead over Sam. Sam is a very strong kid, and he can hold it. So it'll be interesting to watch this last 50. Sydney still giving Megan a run down there. They're going to turn pretty even. Megan with a slight lead. Caroline out in lane 7. And Sullivan's opened it up to about a body length now, so he's going to take the 200 freestyle. Sullivan's coming in at a 152.10. He's going to be off that by a little bit, but just a little bit. At a 154.09. Sam at a 156.83. Down from 157.77. So good swim for him. Sydney is going to add some time there, but not a big deal. Like I said, this is the hard part of the season. I know, like I said, my 16-year-old comes home and he can barely walk some days, so they're getting pretty beat up. And finishing up in lane 8 is Adele with a 226 flat. They're going to do their easy 50, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, we are back, and we are moving on to event number 33, the mixed 100-yard butterfly. There are 3 heats. In lane 2 is Aiden Smith. In lane 4, Tate Dial. Lane 5, Grace Sturrett. And in lane 6, Luke Radetsky. Again, Luke is back after the 200 IM. He does not have a time here, so my guess is he's going to be pretty fast because he did a really nice job in that 200 IM. Hayden Smith also does not have a 100 fly time here. Looks like he probably just aged up at some point here. I don't know when. Or maybe he never swam the 100 fly before. I don't know. Sometimes they don't as 11 and 12-year-olds. But that's rare, especially with Mike and Amy. They love the 100 fly. And there they go. So, as I said, you got Luke touching first out there in lane 6, followed closely behind by Tate Dial. And the other two are close behind her as well. Tate's a little fireball. She's a good butterflyer, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her drop some time here. She's going to hit the wall at 30.5. Her incoming time is a 1:12, so I'm going to put some money on the table that she drops some time here. Luke is doing a fine job. He's still holding his own out there in lane 6. Grace is doing well in lane 5. Still looks nice and smooth. I always judge the 100 fly by, are they still moving forward and do they still have a kick? And if they have those things, they're doing fine in my book. So comes Luke. He's going to touch first. And Tate is going to have a fantastic time here. Luke's in at a 104.2. And Tate screams in with a 106.27. So that's about a 6-second drop for her. So great swims all around. Grace came in at a 115.43, and she's dropped 4 seconds to a 111.8. And Aiden Smith, for maybe his first time swimming this out in lane 2, a 109.03. So they're going to go on there 50 free, easy, and I'll be right back with you for heat 2. All right, we are getting ready for lane 2. They should be piling out of the water and getting out of the starting area. In heat 2, it looks from here that we've got a full heat. You can see him over against the windows. In lane 1, we've got Robbie Megan. Lane 2, Hunter Ridding. Lane 3, Rachel Hutchins. Lane 4, Nick Fomsavan. Lane 5, Jacob Olson. Lane 6, Addison Pavick. Lane 7 is Seb Gillen. And in lane 8 is Riley Laban. Long whistle, up they go on the blocks, and here we go with heat number 2, event number 33, 100 fly. Again, I got Nick in lane 4. It's a pretty good butterflyer as well. He's going to touch first. Jacob right there on his heels. Jacob swam high school with my son, Evan. They were both 500 freestylers. And looks like Nick and Jacob are going to touch right about the same time at a 28.8 and a 28.81 respectively. So we'll call it the same time. Jacob seems to be pulling up a little bit now on Nick. Lane 3, Rachel is giving Nick a run now. She's sneaking up on him. Don't count out lane 8. Lane 8 is Riley. He's coming along pretty well out there. But I think we've got our number 1, 2, and 3 set here maybe. Riley is making a run for that 3rd spot. But we're going to have Jacob first, Nick second, Rachel third, And Riley out there in lane 8. Very nice swims, very nice swims. They're going to go on their 50 cool down, and again, I will be right back with you.
Easy 50.
All right, we got another full heat coming up. This is heat number 3, the final heat of the 100 fly. We have Sydney Davids in lane 1, who you just saw in the 200 freestyle. Megan Hutchins in lane 2, also in the 200 freestyle. Lane 3, Maddie Hall. Lane 4, Håkon Naughton. He's the one to beat here. He is a very good flyer, and he is the one to beat. Grayson Marcotte, another great butterflyer. In lane 5, Audrey Persich in 6, Thomas Kaler in 7, and Elizabeth Oakland in lane 8. All right, here we go. We should have the long whistle. They'll climb up, and off they'll go. On lane 4, taking the early lead is Håkon. Again, he's going to be closely shadowed by Grayson and Maddie. Maddie Hall with a very nice underwater there. But Håkon has taken the very early lead out by about a body length at the 50, turning at 24.6. And a very nice underwater as well. Grayson about a body length and a half. Maddie a couple body lengths behind. And for the final turn, here comes Håkon. He is in at a 50.17. He might be a little bit off that, but he's going to be close. He'll probably be about a 52 or so. Low, yep, 52.2. Grayson coming in 54.39, touching at 56.15. Maddie Hall 58.89. Adding a little bit of time here, but again, this group is Mike Parato's group. These are the senior elite kids, and he beats them up rather well. They do a lot of running, a lot of dry land, and of course he beats them up hard in the pool. So this is to be expected that, again, if they do drop time or they're on their time, it's a bonus. Otherwise, anything close is great. So we've got a little bit of a break here. I will pause the recording, and we'll be back with you here in just a few minutes. Okay, and we are back. We are moving on to event number 34. This is the 100-yard backstroke. We got 3 kids in this first heat. Lane 3 is Mason Pade. Lane 4, Lindsay Mello. And in lane 5, Sydney Sadlick. We have a 13-year-old sandwich here. Lindsay is 13. The 2 on either side of her are 14. And they are off. Mason's got a little bit of a lead here coming off the start. Looks like he will turn first. Again, Lindsay in 4, and in lane 5 we have Sydney. They are now all about even. They've kind of caught up to Mason a little bit here. And it may be mostly a dead heat here at the 50. Looks like Mason's going to touch just a little bit before the other two. As you can see by the splits, 41.08, 41.40, and 41.61. So we've got a close race here. Well, now it looks like out in lane 4, Lindsay's taking a little bit of the lead. We'll probably flip here first. All flip turns have been legal so far, no issues. And Lindsay still in the lead by just a little bit, but Sydney is moving up. And there's Sydney's dad, cheering loud. It looks like Lindsay's going to go with this one. I think they're all going to drop some time here. Lindsay's in at a 1:25.23. That's a 4-second drop for her. Sydney is in at a 1:26.51, which is a nice 4-second drop, 4.5-second drop. And in lane 3, Mason kicked his time from a 1:50.93 to a 1:28.78. So nicely done. They're going to do their 50 freestyle, cool down, and we're going to move on to heat number 2 of the mixed 100 backstroke. And I'll be right back with you. All right, as they climb out of the pool and get dressed, they will move out, and heat number 2 will move in. In lane 1, we're going to have Lydia Harum. In lane 2 is Ben Edwards. Lane 3 looks to be empty. I believe Leah is not here. Lane 4 is Seb Gillen. Lane 5 is Emma Patterson. Lane 6, Grace Martin. Lane 7, Nadim Boulos. And in lane 8, Molly Pitson. Backstroke's a little bit different. Whistles are the same, but instead of climbing on the blocks, obviously, the long whistle means get in the water and get set. And then you've got the second long whistle. And off they go. Yep, lane 3 is empty. It looks like Leah is not here today. So in lane 4 and 5, you have Seb and Emma taking the early lead. Seb's going to turn first. Emma closely behind him. And Seb looked like he just turned on the jets there and pulled away from Emma pretty handily. So he's got the good lead going to the turn at the 50. Emma still has second place for right now. She looks nice and smooth. Nice turn. All of them good turns. By the looks of it, all these kids are under the graces of Amy Parado in the Senior 1 group. And here comes Seb. He is entered at a 1:14. He's going to do a number on that one at 1:10.48. Emma is entered at a 1:15.38. She's going to drop about 17/100 to the second. So nice swim there. Ben Edwards entered at a 1:18.78, 1:16.27. So 2.5 second drop. So all did really well again. They're going to go on their 50 easy, and we'll be right back. Okay, they're finishing up their cool down and hopping out of the pool. We will have lane 3 coming up next, 3 of 4. And in lane 1, we're going to have Sullivan Labno. Lane 2, Riley LeBon. Lane 3, Jacob Olson. Lane 4, Caroline Mulrooney. Lane 5 is Abby Nan. Lane 6 is Elizabeth Oakland. Lane 7, Stella Bouchard. And in lane 8 is Adele Gillen. And off they go. Sullivan out in lane 1, taking the early lead. It's got the pack by about a half a body length at the turn. Caroline hanging in there in lane 4. And in lane 3 as well, you've got Jacob. He's going to hang in there right with them as well. So Sullivan still with the lead at the 50. Caroline, Jacob following. Sullivan entered at a 109.39, flipped in a 30.17, so I believe he's going to drop some time. I'm not sure when the last time Sullivan swam this was, but he's going to drop a little bit of time here. We got Caroline and Jacob hanging together there. Out in lane 2, Riley is giving them a run as well, but Sullivan is going to come in first. And like I said, he's going to drop some time at a 101.92. Very nicely done. Caroline in third at 105.54, which is a good drop for her. And in second, Jacob just touches her out by 4/100ths at a 105.50, and that's a good 2-second drop for him as well. So it looks like some pretty good time drops all across the board there. They're going to do their 50 easy, and we will return with heat number 4, featuring Hawken, Jackson, and Sydney David. Cindy, again, has the U.S. Open cut at 54.19 for this, and I believe will be attending the Toyota U.S. Open, I think in Des Moines, coming up next month. So she'll be fun to watch, always fun to watch in the 100 backstroke. We'll be right back.
Running the final heat. Lane 1, Sophie. Lane 2, Evan. Lane 3, Hawken. Lane 4, Jackson.
So here comes heat number 4. Sophie Scroggins is not with us today in lane 1, so we'll lead off with Evan Kinseth in lane 2. Hawken in 4, Jackson Keller in, Hawken in 3, Jackson in 4, Sydney Davids in 5, Matthew Mortensen in 6. Out in lane 7 is Addison Pavic, and lane 8 is Audrey Persich. Again, we're going to be looking to the middle of the pool. Probably most of this race. We have 3 very good backstrokers here. Jackson's got the early lead at the turn at the 25. Hawkins, Sydney right behind. Matthew Mortensen and Evan right there with them as well. So it looks like it's going to be a battle for probably second and third place. Jackson turning at a 26.09. Sydney turning out there in a 28.68. I was never a backstroker. I don't know how these kids go so fast in this event. Here comes Jackson, great off the walls. That's where he gets a lot of his power from. And he is going to come in at a 53.38, which is a little bit of an ad, about 15 to 21 hundredths of a second. Sydney out in lane 5 at a 58.87, a little bit off there. But again, these kids are not rested. They are being hammered right now. Okay, and they're going to move to their easy 50. We will be moving after that on to the mixed 100-yard breaststroke. Scheduled start time for that is 5:25. It is now 5:08. And so we are a little bit ahead of schedule, and we'll return shortly. Thank you. Okay, and we are back. We are coming in now with event number 35, the mixed 100-yard breaststroke. I'll let the announcer do her thing, and then I'll be back with you in a second. So in lane 3, we have Grace Martin. Lane 4, Lindsay Mello. Lane 5, Sydney Sadlick. And in lane 6, Molly Pitson. All right, here they go. The 100 breaststroke leading off event number 35. Out in lane 4 with the early lead is Lindsay Mello. I believe has an older sister by the name of Caitlin Mello. We got good turns. We got Emma down there yelling and hooting, cheering on her teammates. You can see her down on the far right corner of the pool. And Lindsay still got the lead here coming into the 50. Close behind her, though, is Sydney Sadlick in 5. Along with Miss Grace Martin in lane 3. And we got the first 3 have turned. Molly's turning right now, and she's on her way for the final 50. Lindsay's got a commanding lead now, a couple of body lengths, so she's pulling ahead. Emma's still hollering down there in the far corner. It's always good to have teammates yelling for you. And we are now coming in for home. Lindsay's entered at a 134.51. She is going to be pretty close. Got to squeeze in there, 134.56, so added about 5/100, so that's a good swim. Lane 5, Sydney Sadlick entered at a 140.85, 140.86. I see a trend going on here. She's only 1/100th off her best time. Molly in lane 6 with a 150.62. She added about 3 seconds, nothing big. And Grace in lane 3 with a pretty good size drop from 146.58 to 142.47. Nice swims, ladies. We'll be right back. All right, as they finish up their cool down, we're going to move on to heat number 2 of 3. Lane 1, we're going to have Robbie Megan. Lane 2, Tate Dial. Lane 3, Leah Cayley. Lane 4, Rachel Hutchins. Lane 5, Aiden Smith. Lane 6, Stella Bouchard. Lane 7, Abby Nan. And out in lane 8 is Ben Edwards. All right, here comes heat number 2, moving up to the blocks. This one here, I think Rachel will be the one to watch. She's got a good, she's got a 1:12.47. Pretty much leads the pack by about 7 seconds, but you never know. Some of these kids haven't swam this event in quite a while, but Rachel is a pretty good swimmer, and I think she's going to show it right here. So out in the lead in lane 4, Rachel. She's going to turn first, followed by either side of her, Leah and Aiden. Lane 2 as well, Tate Dial. She's an aggressive swimmer. She's going to go for it. And so she's got about the 3rd position at this point. Rachel coming in first with about a full body length on Aiden. And things haven't changed too much. Tate's pulled out a little bit on 3rd place here. Aiden is going to turn just a little bit before her, and they're going to make their way home. Aiden's making a push, but I think Rachel's got him by a little bit too much at this point. But Aiden's looking great, looking nice and smooth. Rachel's in at a 1:12.47. She's going to add a little bit, but again, she's part of that senior elite group, and I know how hard they're working. Aiden from a 1:19.15 to a 1:16.68. It's kind of a breakout swimming for him. He is really, really doing well. Tate in lane 2 from a 1:19.11. She was a 1:19.60, so she dropped a little bit. And what do we got out in lane 6 is Stella. She went in with a 1:20.64, and she's a 1:21.26, so about a half a second there. Also senior elite swimmer. So all around good swims. We are moving on to heat number 3 as soon as they are done with their 50, and we'll be right back. As they jump out of the water after their cool down, we're going to move on to heat number 3. We got Sam Edwards in 1, Grayson Marcotte in 2. Lane 3 is Maddie Hall. Lane 4, Nick Fomsavan. Nick is, again, as I mentioned earlier, a very, very good breaststroker. You saw him in the 200 IM as he pulled away from everyone in his heat. In lane 5, you got Matthew Mortensen. Lane 6, Jackson Keller. He's a little bit of the dark horse here. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do. He is a very strong swimmer all the way around. And I'm not sure when the last time he swam this event was, so we got to watch those 3 and 4, 5, and 6. Megan Hutchins is going to be right there as well in lane 7. And there is Luke Radetsky out in lane 8. He's had a very good meet as well today. And again, this is the 3rd and final heat of the 100-yard breaststroke. Kicking the fins, make sure everything's solid. And off they go. Good starts. Nick in lane 4. Jackson in lane 6. And Jackson looks like he and Nick are going to touch it exactly the same time on the 25 going out. Matthew squeezed in between them, is a little bit behind. But he's a strong swimmer as well, so he's going to hang in there right with those guys. Megan is right there, Maddie Hall, Grayson. So we got a good race going on, and they touch it. 29.91 and 29.88 for Jackson and for Nick, 3/100ths of a second. So this is a good race. Got something going pretty good here. So Jackson is probably going to drop some time here. Nick's going to be pretty close if they can hold together this final 25. Great underwaters. It's going to be all about who can bring it home. And Jackson's got a little bit of a lead, but it is going to be close. And Jackson is in with a 102.07. Nick with a 102.36. Matthew 105.77. Maddie Hall out in lane 3 with a 108.44. So a little bit of an ad there for her as well. But Jackson from 105.35 down to a 102.07. Very respectable swims. Up next will be event number 36, the 1,000 freestyle. My favorite, or one of my favorite events. I swam this in high school, and not high school, but in high school age, but in club as well. So my son in lane 4, Evan, will be leading the pack on that one, and we'll see what the rest of them can do. But that will be coming up here in just a few minutes, and we will see you then. All right, we are back for the final event of the day. This is the 1,000 freestyle. So in lane 2 we have Jovan Langseth. Lane 3 Caroline Mulrooney. Lane 4 Evan Kinseth. Lane 5 Sullivan Labno. Lane 6 Hunter Ridding. And in lane 7 Thomas Keller. Last time Evan swam this was at Senior State back in March. He was a 9:29, about 4 seconds off the junior national cut. He's got some lofty goals today from when I talked to him just a few minutes ago. We'll see how he does. No, Evan twitched a little bit. Didn't see anything go off, but here they go. So we're in for a long one, about 10 to 11 minutes. If you can hang with us. Again, one of my favorite events along with the mile. A lot of strategy involved. Not for me, of course, for the kids themselves swimming it. Lane 5, Sullivan's got the early lead. Turning at 27.3 and Evan 27.7. And as these two start to pull away from the pack at the 100, Evan's going to gather up the lead here, followed closely by Sullivan. And Evan's goals just got shot down a little bit. He was supposed to be holding about 28.5s, and he's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. He still can do it, but he's got to pick up the pace. .29.03, come down a little bit. Again, he's after 28.5s or so to get around that 9:30 mark. It's a 4:41 in his 500 freestyle yesterday. Sullivan was a 5:01. So both are swimming pretty well. Evan about 5 seconds off his best, and I think Sullivan about 2 or 3 seconds off his best on the 500 yesterday. Evan again at 29.05, which I think was the same split as the one before that, so pretty consistent. Turning at lap number 9, coming in at the 250 mark. This next turn will be a quarter of the way through the 1,000 already. And he still needs to pick up the pace a little bit. Evan is my son. Again, my name is Carl Kinseth. I'm commentating on today's event. 29.54, so he's a little bit off. So I think the I think Mike's workouts are taking their toll on him a little bit. But that being said, Evan is a back half swimmer, so we'll have to watch these times and see how they go. Caroline turning at a 33.29. Caroline's at 11:32.70, so I'll be interested to see how she does here. We've got Thomas Keller, looks like he's probably never swam it before, and Joven Langsa probably never swam it before. So we'll be looking for their times. Evan 29.58. Sullivan very consistent, 31.07. $29.91. He's creeping a little bit, but he can see the clock, so if he's going to get going, he knows he's got to go. Sullivan 31.5. Again, very consistent. 31 to 31.5s he's holding. Turning here at the 400 at a 29.81. Sullivan hitting the wall again, 31.51, exactly what he was at the 50 before that. $29.88. Caroline at 33.98, so she's holding up very well. Sullivan's coming in now on his turn at 31.5. Again, very consistent for Sullivan. Thomas Keller looking nice and long and strong out there in lane 7. Comes Evan to the 500. This is the halfway point. He touches at a 4:54.04 and a 29.86 for the split. Sullivan 31.56, another good consistent split. $29.9 there for Evan. So he's holding pretty consistent, not about where he wanted to be. But again, most of these kids are senior 2 or senior elite. So they are in the middle of their season at this point, where Mike is still working them extremely hard. 31.36. Sullivan's brought it down a little bit, picking up the pace a little bit. See what Evan can do here. 29.91. He's staying really consistent at that 29.9. $29.89. So again, real consistent for Evan. Here comes Caroline here in lane 3. Joven in lane 2. Caroline turning at the 33.58, so she's holding pretty steady. Joven at the 34.19. This is lap number 28 of 40 that Evan will be flipping at. And a 29.78, so he's brought it down just a little bit here. Again, he is a back half swimmer, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do here, if he can bring these down a little bit. And Caroline flipping at a 33.8, so again, holding her own. Sullivan, 31.8. It's come up a little bit since the first 350, 400, but still holding good. Well, Evan back to 29.9, so he's Again, not quite where he wants to be, but again, that's fine. Well, Sullivan brought that one down, 31-3. Evan brings that one down, 29-6. Can't forget Hunter sitting out there in lane number 6. He is coming in on his 30th lap right now and turning at 34.21. Caroline at 33.9. Sullivan again, very steady at 31.41. And Evan at 29.78. So coming up to lap 36, when Evan turns, he will have 100 yards left out of 40 laps. And turning at 29.73. Hunter out in lane 6, 33.7. You're going to hear the bell coming up in another 25 yards. That's the bell lap. The person in the lead, the ref will walk up, and you'll see her there behind lane 4, and she will announce with the bell that this is the final lap. And final lap, 29.83. So Evan's going to bring it home. Not going to go quite what he wanted to go. Right there was about where he was at Senior State last year. And Evan touching at a 9:51.92. Caroline turning with probably 100 left, maybe. Looking at the, yep, she's got 75 yards left. Sullivan should be coming in on his final 12 yards right now. Sullivan entered at a 10:31.34. He's going to drop some 12 seconds. Nice swim for him. Great swim. And here comes Caroline. She's going to have a 50 left, as is Hunter right behind her. And she turns at 33.6, and he turns at 33.09. So Hunter's turning on the jets. Got Joven coming in. He's got a 50 left here as well. 34.5. And that's going to be it for Thomas for his first swim at a 10:51.47. Caroline entered at a 11:32.70. She's going to drop a ton of time at 11:06.99. That's a great swim. And Hunter out in lane 6. He was entered at 11:53.42 and goes in 11:09.45. And Joven for his first swim of the 1,000 is in at 11:17.30. A great showing by all of them. Fantastic swims. They're going to cool down a little bit. And that ends the session number 4 on this October 10th Riptide Intrasquad meet. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate that. Sorry that we couldn't live stream this, but it will be up later on this evening when I upload it to YouTube. Thank you very much.